tough being the eldest. I always get stuck going first. My sisters Kathy and Karen and I thank you for this opportunity to share a few words about a special man and a tribute to our favorite dad. And also, I would like to acknowledge the wonderful contributions our mom has made throughout Daddy's most memorable but demanding career. As the saying goes, behind every successful man, there is a loving and supportive woman. Our mom was a true example of this role. Not only was she there for giving encouragement to my dad, but she was always there for my sisters and I, especially when Daddy's hectic schedule required his absence. We love you. In September, at my dad's press conference to announce his retirement, Pat Rui asked my sisters and I if our dad was the same way with us growing up at home as he has always been with his players. I can honestly say he really didn't coach his favorite three daughters very differently than he coached his beloved players on the field. He has always been loving and supportive, but kept us on the line of scrimmage with his daily doses of teasing and his fun, if not somewhat unique, sense of humor, which my mom, his poor, picked-upon son-in-laws, and teammate Bo Schembechler can attest to this very day. However, Daddy will tell you it is the only way he has survived growing up with 4 sisters and living his entire adult life with a wife, 3 daughters, and a female dog. His version of a nunnery. However, those of you who've had the pleasure of sitting around me during a football game know that the nunneries wouldn't want me. I cuss much too much at the referees. But in all seriousness, Daddy, your friends are here tonight to honor your accomplishments at Yale. But Kathy, Karen, and I are also here to honor you as our loving and caring dad. I thank you.
Dad's second daughter, and if Dad had more hair left, it would look like mine. Thanks, Dad. Many have compared life to a journey with peaks and valleys, twists and turns, and as a coach, my father certainly has had his fair share of both. My father believes there's more to life than winning or losing football games, except when it's harder. There is the opportunity to teach the value of hard work and discipline, to instill in these young men the pride of a job well done. For those of you who were coached by my father, he wanted to prepare you for the game of life, not just next Saturday's opponent. Being a successful head coach requires that you sacrifice time with your family. You might have to travel to recruit a quarterback, spend time in the hospital visiting an injured player, or speaking to the alumni. We all understood what my father had to do, and we are proud of all of his many accomplishments. Now my father's journey will become a little flatter and a little straighter. He will be able to enjoy time with his wife for 44 years, play with his 5 grandchildren, and spend more time with his 3 daughters. And last but not least, play more golf and tennis with his sons-in-law. Although Yale will not be his primary focus, he will continue to support the development of athletics and athletes at Yale. I love you, Mom and Dad, and wish you a lot of happiness.
Hi, I'm Karen Pollard. I'm the youngest, and I'm always the last. Last February, I attended the 29th Annual Walter Camp Football Foundation Awards Dinner. During the evening, Reggie Williams and Keith Jackson stated during their acceptance speeches how fortunate they felt Yale has been to have a football coach remain at the university for over 30 years, of the caliber and integrity of my father. People referred to him as a legend, and it was during this evening that the inevitable forthcoming retirement of my father emerged to the forefront of my mind. I knew a great many changes lay ahead, and I wondered how the members of my family's lives would be altered. For the past 33 years, every Saturday of the fall season has been occupied by the Yale football games. What would it be like not to know what we will be doing every Saturday from September through November, experiencing pre-game anticipation and exhilaration? What would it be like to face Saturdays in the fall without the flood of emotions that accompanies each and every game? What can ever replace the euphoric sensation of winning a football game with players often performing far beyond their capabilities, never allowing the option of defeat to enter their minds until the game is over and nothing can then alter the final outcome? Being connected to these games has been a grand experience, a phenomenon difficult to explain to people outside of Yale football. The thrill of watching a 5'9", 170-pound Yale player go up against opponents 2 times his size, never acknowledging his apparent physical disadvantage. A few players who come to mind are Kevin Zinger, Dave and Dan Iwan, and most recently our wonderful 1996 captain, Rob Masella. My father has experienced a lifetime of recognition and awards. I believe he is at peace and feels he has received all of the accolades he needs to obtain to fulfill his desire for success and achievement. But what can replace the joy he derives from coaching his players? The memorable experiences he has known with his teams. For a short duration every fall, the Yale players are his kids to mold, encourage, tease, comfort, and motivate. They are the sons he never had, providing him with a lifetime of prideful fatherhood. Nothing can replace his players in his life and in his heart. I hold no doubt that there will be ample opportunities for my father to remain active, but I know it will be difficult to withdraw from coaching these young men who have kept him vibrant, alive, and incessantly challenged. I suppose your grandchildren will have to take over this role. As all life's experiences have their place and time to thrive, so must they have their ending. The completion of an era for Yale University football, the closure of my father's career as head coach, and the conclusion of an extraordinary experience in all our lives has arrived. The lessons I have been privileged and fortunate to learn by being a minute part of all this will remain with me the rest of my life. However, change is a constant with which we have to live and to adjust. Although there have been some difficult seasons, whenever people question me about the stress related to my father's profession, I think back to a line I once heard. I would rather have a few wonderful moments than an entire lifetime of nothing special. My sisters and I would like to thank our father and mother, as well as all the players, coaches, families, and friends that have provided us with far more than just a few spectacular moments. Thank you.
You know, Carmen's been here 32 years. Let me put that in perspective. Since Carmen has been here, there have been 3 popes. He's elevated the position to such a point that when they pick the next coach, you're going to see white smoke rings coming out of Ray Tompkins' house. It's a lot of pressure to put on the next guy. You're going to have the outlaw Carmen's been here. The first time you had to pull a 28 right, the tailback was Nathan Hale. And I was thinking how long he's been here, and I had a quarter. Anybody's a quarter, take out a quarter. Look at a quarter very close. I was looking at this the other day, and I swear to God, I was looking at the face of the quarter, and I swear to God, that's Carmen. The man has been minted. Of course, he had a ponytail in this one. Must have been in the late 60s during his hippie period. And then the other thing I was looking at, the amazing thing when I look at Carm is how much he hasn't changed. I mean, look at a picture of Carm from 1967, the programs there, or now, it's the same thing. He's like the Dick Clark of coaches, this guy. He made some pact with Dorian Gray of coaches. That's what he did. It was kind of a weird pact with the devil or something that he made. The devil said, okay, you can remain the same age with the age to be 55. To me, Carm's name is actually synonymous with the word coach. Yale should call the new head coach the new head Carm. With the offensive and defensive Carms. Or maybe just the Carm. The great and powerful Carm. I make it a title like the Ayatollah. Carmen, certain words come to mind, words like excitable, flamboyant, manic. I'm sorry, that's Deion Sanders. I always get too confused. You look at Carmen, you're looking at a man obviously prone to violent mood swings. Sometimes we see Carmen go from calm to calmer. Tranquil all the way over to serene.
I feel very fortunate to be a part of Carmen's career, a very small part. I really enjoyed my career here. Especially with the New England Sports Museum, and Carmen's agreed to provide some memorabilia. We're going to have an exhibit on Carmen within probably a month or two. And just to give a little bit more to New England, what we have all benefited from his presence here.
For me, literally, there were moments of stress which involved life and death situations in Vietnam with the Marine Corps. It involved complex trials I was involved in my career. It involved very complex international business negotiations and the general conduct of my life. And what I reflected upon and what I always came back to was the fact of the vivid impact of these 3 years in this man. It was one of the vivid things that kept coming back. I can still remember slogans that he used to post in the locker room. One measure of a man is the way in which he deals with his adversity. For those of you, though, who have not won a championship, who did not win some of the games you thought you could win, we stand as an example of our perspective of what Carmen really does. And what he really prepared you for is the longest and toughest competition you will ever face, and that's the competition of life, your career, and your family. And it's about winning every day. It's about getting up every day and facing every situation and winning. And if you lose, which you're going to lose, because if you live life, you're going to lose, it's about how you deal with your failures and how you deal with your success. And this is a guy who's had the impact on all of us. So Carmen, I, on behalf of my teammates in my era, thank you. We thank all of the assistant coaches who are now with you, some of whom we've known, Seb Espina, who was with us in our first year, others. Other coaches who have passed away, other coaches who have gone, done other things, we thank you because you've had a far greater impact on our lives and we believe on the lives of the people in this room than you will ever know. And what Carmen has done is he's created for us and for me, because I find it really interesting to speak with people of all generations here, because you share one common goal. And there are very few things in life that can span 34 years and have as many people share that common goal. And there's no university that can brag of that. But I issue this challenge to everyone in the room, because everyone in the room would like to be up here saying what I'm saying, is that we owe to this man, going forward, to get involved and do everything we can to preserve all the many, many, many wonderful things that exist about this university, this football program, and athletics here. But we also owe him the dedication to get involved to make and help the administration make the necessary changes in order to preserve what he has created. And it is in his honor that we do that.